there are one or two people who are anti-BeeVac, and I think it's just because they don't know how to.
It's very unlikely that when the bees come back to the apiary site that they'll actually stay.
If you don't know how to use a BeeVac or a gun, it doesn't mean that it's a bad piece of machine or piece of equipment. It's back here again with Christy.
Coffee with Christy.
Right, so quick one. We'll make this one quick and short today.
Okay.
I thought we'd maybe have a good discussion about BeeVacs. We got a comment on one of our posts, and one guy from he's an anti-BeeVac activist, and he talks about BeeVacs and says how they kill bees and all that type of stuff.
I think some of them do.
Yep.
Some BeeVacs do kill bees. One thing that people must just understand is that we've been doing bees quite a long time, and we don't just do bees because we're beekeepers and that's our job. We actually do it because we really love bees.
Yeah.
And so
it's also not just a hobby for us.
No, it's our life. I mean, it's everything that we do. So when you were developing the various BeeVacs, before we started using them en masse, we did lots of testing of various styles. Our first ever BeeVac was actually a 7-frame brood, like a brood box. But
before that was the bucket, remember, at the farm.
Oh, sure, but yeah. So we had a 20-liter bucket with our vacuum attached on one side, and I mean that whenever it sucked, the vacuum would suck the whole box. And I mean, then we lost loads of bees.
Yeah.
So we haven't just gone out and said, oh, this is the best BeeVac on the market or whatever, just willy-nilly.
Yeah.
We've actually tested a lot of various styles. There's a specific number of holes that are drilled, a specific diameter of hole, etc., to make sure that the survival rate of the bees going into that BeeVac is huge. And we do on average, how many is it per bee removals per day?
So 2023, it was about 3 removals per day.
Yeah, averaged out.
Working day, averaged out, because I mean, some days you can do 8, especially if the teams are out in the evenings working until late and the clients are happy for us to be out at night.
Yeah.
But 2024, we're sitting close on the 4 per working day.
Yeah.
That we have,
So, I mean, we're doing 4 bee removals per working day on average, using that black, plastic BeeVac that we've got. And the survival rate of the hives that we bring back,
I think it's very good. I mean, so it's not like we're getting bees dying inside the BeeVac as such. Yeah. The one thing that people need to remember is that, for argument's sake, it's the same as the gun argument. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah.
And just because you don't know how to use a BeeVac or a gun, it doesn't mean that it's a bad piece of machine or piece of equipment.
And also, I mean, we've gone so far as to those BeeVacs have even got ventilation lids that have fans on them that cool the bees on hot days when they're doing the removal. So we've done a lot of advancements on the actual BeeVac to make sure that the bees survive.
Better and better. Yeah. Well, that's our number one goal. So if we can't use a BeeVac and vacuum up bees without them dying, we'd rather not use a BeeVac.
Yeah.
And
there are instances where we don't use the BeeVac.
100%. Yeah. I mean, so yesterday the guys were in Mpangeni at Eskom. And funny enough, they didn't have power. So Eskom didn't have the power themselves. So the guys had to do a manual removal, and they literally scooped up the bees as normal, make sure they got the queen, they put them inside the box, put the box outside there. As the sun went down, bees settled inside, they plugged the hive and off they went.
Yeah.
So you do get those cases where from time to time that we don't use the BeeVac.
And the thing is, our staff are trained to do various styles of removals and various,
depending on, because it's all customized.
Sure.
There is no removal that's the same. Even if there's a roof in the corner of the roof, will never be the same as that house, the corner of the roof.
Yeah.
Because the beams are different, the tiles, the corrugation or whatever, it's all different.
And how long the colony's been there also plays a role.
100%.
But I think one of the things that yes, a BeeVac has a place in bee removals and whatever, just like doing a manual removal or the use of chemicals like benzaldehyde.
Yeah.
It's not there for every single removal.
Yeah. There's some people that are pro-benzo and some people that are anti-benzo.
What we've actually noticed with the benzo removals is that the bees are less likely to stay.
Yeah. So
invariably, if you've done a bee removal using a chemical like benzaldehyde, it's very unlikely that when the bees come back to the apiary site that they'll actually stay. Normally 100%. They swarm off.
I think when it comes to vacuuming up the bees, it's sometimes, if you vacuum a whole clump of bees and they go inside the pipe, you don't know if you've got the queen in that clump or not.
Sure.
Okay, so that's a scenario that we don't know if we've got the queen. But for argument's sake, in a situation like benzaldehyde, if we're using benzo for argument's sake, in a pole, and we inject the benzo inside there, and the bees start pouring out. We'll do it on a specific time of day, going into the evening where the bees aren't going to be flying, and we make sure that we target it when the queen does come out.
And as she comes out, once you suck her up, pretty much most of your work is done, because the rest of the bees
she's one of the last that comes out. So, but the guys do vacuum until they make sure that they've got everyone. And when there's no more bees coming out, but as far as possible, let's say it's quite a large metal pole, and we'll try and cut a hole in the side so we can get the comb out as well.
Otherwise, you continue to have a problem.
100%. And so when it comes to a BeeVac, I think you're right, there are places for BeeVac, and there's places, but I think there are one or two people who are anti-BeeVac, and I think it's just because they don't know how to use it.
But also, maybe they've been exposed to BeeVacs where
bad scenario.
Yeah, maybe it hasn't been, people who've designed it haven't taken the time to make sure that
or they made it themselves.
That the survival rate of the colony is better.
Yeah,
I can say with confidence, more than 70% of the colonies that come back from bee removals stay.
Yeah,
either 100%. They stay or they swarm off and grab one of our catch boxes nearby, but they survive. That's the main thing. They survive.
Well, that's the whole thing, So if they swarm off and they go into a catch box, we don't really care as long as the swarm is saved. I can't remember when last we had a swarm actually die inside a BeeVac.
Yeah.
So, and that tells you a lot. And our BeeVacs are plastic. That's a whole different topic.
And they're black plastic.
Black plastic thing. Yeah. So you got to know what you're doing. And unfortunately, when you do get guys that don't know what they're doing, all of a sudden they say, "Hey, guns are bad. No one must use guns. No one must have guns." Well, that's because you've had a bad experience or you don't know.
Sure, and I think key to making sure that you're using a BeeVac responsibly is understanding bees.
Yes.
Understanding what is necessary for them to survive. They can't be sticky in the BeeVac.
100%.
So they can't be covered in honey.
You don't smoke them before.
So
there's so much actually involved.
Yes. And ventilation is key.
100%.
So all of those things have been taken into consideration when designing this BeeVac and when we use the BeeVac as well.
Yeah.
So on really hot days, the bees travel in the front cab with the aircon going to make sure they stay.
And that's
cool.
also a different topic. We'll save that for another day. Doing bee removals during the day, because I can tell you that probably 99% of bee removers don't know how to do a daytime removal. And that is intense stuff. Never mind going up into Zululand.
It comes back to understanding bees and their
core
behavior.
Yeah.
Great.
So fantastic.
Cool.
Good.
If you have any questions about the BeeVac or would like to subscribe to our channel so that you can.
We do have some videos about the BeeVac that we use.
And there's lots of videos of our staff using those BeeVacs as well as ourselves.
We're about to release another video. About the BeeVac being used inside a tree and where we dump the bees out. We call it dumping, but we pour it out into the box.
And we actually reunite the bees with their own brood as quickly as possible.
Every single time.
So we don't transport the brood to the apiary site, our holding site, and then do it.
As much as possible, we try and do it on site. And it just makes it so much easier when it's at night, because then they know don't fly around.
Yeah.
But if you do have to dump some on site during the day removal, which I don't really want to encourage people to do because it's a specialized task, then it's a matter of you are going to get some flying off. You close it with a screen lid, and then you have to vacuum those bees up again. So they go back through the process, type thing. So it is a very specialized thing, I think. But have a look on our channel, see if you can see some of the videos about the BeeVacs, and give us your opinion. What do you think? And some big guys are pro, some are anti, and I suppose that's what makes it customized.
We're all unique.
Yeah, everyone has their own way of doing things.
Exactly.
So.
And we just here to share our knowledge and our experience with you guys. So if you have any questions, pop them on the comments below, and we'll answer you guys as soon as we can. Have a great day.
I think there's something.
Damn it, Larry.
We're back.